trouble, just for some fun. But we're all ready if you want to start. So just remember the kids are back. The kids are back. Oh, watch out, the kids are back.
The kids are indeed back. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this special edition of the Game Changer. It is Royal Rumble Prediction episode. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I am indeed Nate the Epic Great, and I'm being joined here, as always, by Mr. Max BD. Say hi, Max.
Hi, Max.
Yeah. And, of course, we're being joined by a very special guest from the Elite Ringside Network, Mr. Kris Lockman. How's it going, good sir?
Good. It's been a while, but it's definitely good to be back. Talk some wrestling.
Let's indeed talk some wrestling. Guys, we're throwing down our predictions for Royal Rumble, and we actually had our Royal Rumble predictions set until today, where they actually announced 3 matches for the pre-show. We're not going to include these in our predictions, but we are going to kind of talk a little bit about these a bit. So let's just not waste any time. Let's just get right into the pre-show. The exciting pre-show that's probably going to last about, 7 hours roughly? Or it seems like way too long. First matchup on the card is Bobby Roode defending the United States Championship in an open challenge invitation. So I guess the question is, who's going to step up? Who's going to fight Bobby Roode at the Royal Rumble? I don't think fuck is a wrestler. I think that they might go down the route of having Jinder Mahal face against him again, but maybe there's somebody else that they'll step up to.
No, sadly, I think it will end up being Jinder Mahal, and then just because he's already around. But one name I would actually really like to see make a debut on the main roster at this point would be Drew McIntyre.
That would be cool.
That's fucking awesome. Either way, I would still say Roode retains. Doesn't really matter who he's against. You don't put a title like that on him and not let him run with that for a while. So I guess it's pretty much irrelevant to me. Bobby Roode's going to win either way.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. I mean, can't really pin down anyone in particular, but I'll go as far as to say that I don't think it's going to be anyone that isn't a jobber. It's pretty much just going to be, such and such who hasn't had a match on TV for 6 months and they need a loss, and that's pretty much all I see now.
Well, be sure to use the hashtag anybody but Mojo, because, yeah, let's not have Mojo Rawley challenge for the U.S. title, because really good reasons, actually. All right, so the next matchup on the card is the Club, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, taking on the Revival in a rematch from Raw 25. Max, let's start with you, buddy.
Well, if they have Bray in the fucking goddamn head and leave Balor Club winning this one, I don't even care. I don't care what your storyline justifications are for Balor Club. They're invalid. Balor Club is what wins. As for what's going to happen, fuck it, I'm going to give myself a present. I'm calling Balor Club to take it.
Chris?
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with that. In a match that's going to actually have 3 out of 4 competitors that are bald, just throwing that out there, I think the guy with the hair is actually going to be the one to take the fall. I'm going to go with the Club all the way. As much as I love the Revival, I'm going to have to say the Club.
Are you sure you just...
The Revival's amazing. I don't care what Cody Rhodes says. But they got to do something with Balor Club, and they got to do it now.
Yeah, I guess I'll have to agree with you guys. I would go with Revival, maybe just to make the feud, more interesting, but I highly doubt they're going to go that direction. But, alright. The final matchup on the card is just a random 6-man tag team match featuring. Oh God! Now I gotta pull it up because golly. All right, I think it's gonna be either Team Babyface or Team Heel. I think we're all in agreement with that. Okay, here we go. It's Kalisto, Lince Dorado, and Grand Metalik versus TJP, Jack Gallagher, and Drew Gulak. You know what? I don't think I even want us to waste our time on this because the fact of the matter is Cedric Alexander's not even involved in this. Yeah, it's just, what the hell?
I'll put a fiction out there just for the sake of it.
All right, go for it.
Drew Gulak. Drew Gulak just because.
Just Drew Gulak.
Fuck it. That way, if I wind up tying with someone, they'll be like, "Oh, but I called Drew Gulak winning a cruiserweight title." Kind of like winning a championship off Vince Russo at this point, but I still call it.
Well, to be fair, Max, it's not really a 6-man deal. It's just a 6-man tag match, 3-on-3. But if you want to still do you still want to be you want to still be high on Drew Gulak, then
I rescind everything I said. Fuck it.
Chris?
All right, so I'm gonna have to jump in here on this one, though. I'm gonna have to go with the team that has more masks. That's how I'm actually gonna decide this. Either way, again, another match that it's kind of underwhelming. That's why it's on the pre-show. But I'm gonna say Kalisto picked up the win. And the only thing that really gets me about this, and I really don't want to talk about this topic for too long, because we could do a whole show on it. But obviously Enzo Amore and that whole deal. I really feel like this whole situation really, really screws that division. Like whether or not it's true, I'm not going to make a judgment on that or anything. We don't know all those facts. I don't want to get into speculating on that. But honestly, it's crazy to me to think winning the Cruiserweight Championship is basically the kiss of death. It really seems like anybody who touches that title over the past few years that it's been back, it hasn't gone well. So.
Yeah, the fact that it's gotten so much negative heat since, Hornswoggle winning the title, that's saying a lot. I mean, Jesus. Oh, boy. Yeah. All right, so let's move on to something that's a little bit more positive, I guess we could say. And let's just go into, I said a little bit more positive. I didn't say fully 100% positive. Oh, we lost Mr. Max. Let's see if we can get.
Oh, he's gone. Oh, no.
Yeah, I think when I said the word positive, I think I just broke him. All right, let me see if I can get him back online or back on here. Yeah, so basically, guys, we've been having one of the most insane deals, just trying to get everything ready, trying to get technology to work with us, which obviously that's never always a smart idea. But all right, see if we can get him back on here. Ah, boy. This is what happens when you say the word positive around Mr. Max Beatty, especially when you're talking about a WWE event. It's not one of the best things. All right. All right. Merging the calls.
Oh.
All right, Max, you're back.
Yeah, sorry. I literally dropped my phone and it hit the right angle and the battery popped out.
Well.
I'm a smart person, I assure you.
Literally, I said, this is what happens when I say the word positive and I refer to a WWE event, is that Max just drops out of the call.
Shut up.
All right.
Shut up.
All right, so let's finally get into the actual predictions here. Royal Rumble main card, starting off with the Raw Tag Team Championships. We got Jason Jordan and Seth Rollins taking on The Bar. Max, let's start with you, buddy. Who have you got and why?
I'm gonna go with the bar, partially because I really fucking love the bar, and partially because I just don't want those belts anywhere near Jason George right now. And I think that WWE is going to finally start to see that they need to just commit to the heel turn, because personally it still feels like they're trying to turn him into an awkward, or keep him as an awkward babyface. So I think to commit fully to a turn and to just keep the belt on something that at least has the crowd's attention, I think the bar is going to pick it up.
Fair enough, fair enough. Before we go any further, guys, I know that we mentioned that Spencer Hart and AJ Jensen, they were going to join us here. Unfortunately, Mr. Spencer Hart had to stick around and work, and unfortunately, Mr. AJ is not feeling too good because of cold and flu season. So, with that being said, we do have their predictions here. We are going to make the announcement of, who they picked and what they're going to be going with. So, on my list here, I have Mr. Spencer Hart next. He has also agreed with Max, and he's going with the bar. Kris, you're up next. Who have you got and why?
Yeah, I'm also going to have to go with the bar. I've actually really, really enjoyed them the entire time that they've been a tag team, going back to their best of 7 series. And oh my god, the whole run that they've had, it's been a lot better than I really expected it to be. I'm glad they're actually utilizing those guys to their full potential. So I'm going to go with the bar. As far as Jason Jordan goes, I think it was a huge mistake to break up American Alpha. I don't understand why they did that. That was one of the best tag teams they had at that time, and neither one of those guys can really stand on their own. Obviously, you're kind of seeing that, with what we'll be talking about later with Benjamin and Gable. But honestly, I really think that had Ambrose kind of stuck around, I think this would have been a lot better, obviously. And I really think that now is the time to actually take the titles off of Jordan and Rollins, because I would actually like to see Rollins go back to more of a singles role, maybe even have a feud at some point, going forward or whatever with Jordan, if that's really the way that they want to go with that. But either way, I'm going to have to go with the bar. And AJ also agrees. AJ is also going to go with the bar. I think this might be a sweep. So.
Yeah, it is a sweep because I am going with the bar as well. I thought that maybe just for, funny's sake, going with Jason Jordan and Seth Rollins for just to say that we've changed that up, but no, I just think that they're going with the bar. With everything that's been going on and with Jason Jordan possibly having an injury, it does kind of make sense that they're probably going to be dropping the belts. It's one of those moments where they did it on Raw. It was a kind of a good shock value moment, but now the nostalgia's off, and it's like, yeah, just give it back to the bar. We're done. We're done with this whole experiment with Jason. Yeah. Chris Lockman, you mentioned it. Next matchup on the card is the 2 out of 3 Falls match for the SmackDown Live Tag Team titles. It will be the Usos defending against Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin, American Alpha, .2. We actually have an interesting point system going in here. So first we're going to talk about who gets the first fall, and then we basically will decide who gets the win at the end. So, Max, again, we're starting with you. Who gets the first fall, and who gets the win?
Okay. Well, I know it's going to be the first fall. I know it'll be the first fall of 3, because God forbid we get a WWE 2 out of 3 falls match where we just have someone sweep through. Oh, no, we can't have that. Heaven forbid. But first fall, I think, is going to be picked up by I think it's going to go to I think the Usos are going to pick up the first fall. I think it's going to be Benjamin that eats the pin. But ultimately, I think the Usos are also going to retain the championships. I would love, personally, because I as much as I really love the Usos and have for ever since they turned heel, I really am digging Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin, and would kind of love to see them with the tag titles, but I'm just not seeing that happen yet.
Yep, and Spencer Hart agrees with you there. He is going with the Usos on both accounts. Kris, who have you got and why for the first fall as well as for the deciding fall?
As much as I hate to do this, I'm going to have to agree with those guys. Honestly, what Max was saying, I would love to see Usos just go 2-0, just sweep them, but I honestly don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to be one of those situations where Gable maybe steals one, like just with some kind of roll-up or something like that. It's not going to be a finisher, and then they're going to end up building, but Usos are still going to get it done and retain. AJ is actually going to go a little bit different on this one. AJ is actually calling for Gable and Benjamin to get the first pin, but the Usos still retaining 2-1.
Interesting. And I'm going with the completely opposite direction. I will be having Gable and Benjamin picking up the first fall, and Gable and Benjamin picking up the win. I think that it's just time for them to change the tag team scheme on there and get a new tag team involved in the tag team titles. That's my opinion.
Wishful thinking, buddy.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. So, our first disagreement's on the show. Yay! It's not going to be a clean deal. But I think once we get into the Royal Rumble picks, it's going to be interesting to hear what everybody has to say. All right, so we go on to the highly anticipated Universal Championship match. It's a triple threat. Hey, Brock Lesnar versus Braun Strowman. Yay! Versus Kane. Why do we have the mayor of Knoxville, Tennessee in here? Just why? I don't understand it. Max, who do you have taking the pin and who do you have going over?
If they had a brain, if anyone in the WWE creative warehouse had a fucking functional brain, Braun Strowman would be walking away from this after just power slamming Brock Lesnar through Kane. Not through a table, just through Kane. Kane is 2 wrestlers now. He's been hit in half. But honestly, I think Lesnar's going to retain it. I think that they see gold in them Tar Hills, and they're going to stick with their big dog for a while. I think that Lesnar's probably not going to drop the belt until at least Mania. So yeah, as much as I'd love to see Braun Strowman with the title, because really Braun Strowman with the title would be the best thing possible right now. I would love that. I don't care if it's only for a month. But I gotta go with Lesnar. Lesnar's gonna retain. He's probably gonna pin. I think if they're smart about it, they'll have him pin Kane.
All right, and once again, Spencer Hart is in agreement with you. I think that he might have stolen all of your predictions, Max, but we'll see. Mr. Kris, who have you got and why?
All right. Before I get to my pick on this one, because whatever. A couple stats about this, though, that I actually found really, really interesting. Just figured I'd kind of share them and see if maybe you guys had an idea about this.
Okay.
So, on Sunday, Lesnar is going to actually have the Universal Championship for 301 days.
God damn
Which is
it.
the longest reign in that title's history and the longest world title reign in Lesnar's career. It actually puts him in the top 4 as far as a main championship goes right now, with him having 301 days. Can you name the 3 other people that have held the heavyweight championship longer?
Oh, 3 people.
CM Punk's going to be one of them. We're talking we're just talking Cena maybe and Orton?
Cena 2?
I was going to say, are you talking within the last decade or something like that?
Basically in the last 25 years.
25 years. Okay, so that would be going back to around 90, I think it's 92. So,
Close.
yeah, CM Punk would be one. Cena would be the second one. For around 300 days, gosh. Because I was about to say, definitely not. Oh, wait, no. He said champions, so that could also be, other champions. Wait, are we talking singles champions, or are we talking champions all around?
300 plus day world title reign.
World title, okay. So New Day is ruled out. Got it. I think also Triple H, if I'm not mistaken.
From 1994 to 95.
Okay.
He had the title for 358 days. So, also, just again throwing out a couple more stats. I love to do that. in the Royal Rumble is 4-0 at this event. Best record in Royal Rumble history as far as just the event, not the actual match. In the matches, he was 1-2.
Okay.
Also, Brock Lesnar has won the last 5 pay-per-view matches he's had, which is one shy of his actual career longest winning streak at pay-per-views when he won 6 back in 03. So, and this one I found kind of crazy, but so Kane debuted in the WWF at the time in 1997. Brock Lesnar came in 2002. But at the Royal Rumble, it's actually going to be the first time that they've been in a match against each other.
Right.
They've been in the ring together a couple times in 03 and the 2016 Rumble, but that is it. So it's kind of interesting to see that. I'm actually kind of happy about that one, just to see Kane there. But Kane has a terrible, terrible record when it comes to the Royal Rumble. Obviously being 0-19 in the Rumble match itself. But he's only had 1 win, actually, at the Royal Rumble, even though he's been a part of 21. This will be his 22nd Royal Rumble event.
Okay.
What I'm hoping, though, is either way, I feel like it's going to be bad for Kane in this match. I do feel like he takes the fault. But as long as he can drag his ass out there after this, what is going to be one of the most physical matches I think we've seen in a while, I would love to see him still be in the Rumble match, because that will be 20 Royal Rumbles that he has been in. Even though it wouldn't matter, he'd probably get taken out pretty quick. But honestly, on this match, though, I am going to actually have to go with everybody else, go with Lesnar pinning Kane. AJ is as well. There's really no other way to do this. I really think we're still building up to Lesnar holding that title until Mania until he drops it. So I guess that's what we're going to see.
Yeah.
That's what I said myself. I personally would love to see Strowman pick up the belt, but it's not happening here.
Where do you go then? You know, what do you do then after that? I feel like this is just going to be one of those matches that, while it's going to be decent, you kind of give Kane a little bit of love for actually putting him in the match in this spot, but he's just there to take the fall.
Yeah, the WWE's pulled that a lot, and hell, I could honestly, considering how often they like to spam the same match over and over again, I could easily see them going, all right, well, we're going to use this and springboard off of it into Lesnar versus fucking Strowman maybe at Mania. I could see them, well, no, they're probably not going to want to throw the belt on Strowman at Mania, no.
I'm hearing rumors of, for WrestleMania, actually, Braun Strowman versus The Miz for the Intercontinental Championship. Now, I don't know how I really feel about that. I feel like, honestly,
yeah. It'd be a good match, too, I think. It's just...
you also have the Miz Sriracha you could throw in there. This is the reasons why Miz is still getting over, picking up matches, stealing stuff here and there. But I think that at this point, the way Braun Strowman has been built up, do you think that the Intercontinental Championship, I guess at this point, is going to be enough to put on him?
I don't think so. I think it kind of needs to be the world title. There is always that saying that, the wrestler makes the title, not the title makes the wrestler. I think that's kind of it's definitely true in this case. Now, personally, because I'm a big fan of The Miz, especially the heel, I'd love to see a Braun Strowman Miz feud over the world title, one of them. That's not going to fucking happen, at least not this year. But yeah, I don't know. As much as I love The Miz, it feels more comfortable with him holding almost any title. I could see myself still being as big a fan of his, even if he was holding the U.S. title, or a tag title, or, like he is now the IC title, or the world title. With Braun Strowman, they built him up into such an apocalyptic monster. It doesn't work. It wouldn't feel right to me. I think at least for right now, to keep up the build and the speed they've got with him, I think it needs to be the world title.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
I think I'm going to throw throw my 2 cents worth here, and also I'm going with also everybody else. So to clarify that, I think that it would actually benefit Braun Strowman if he was the Intercontinental Champion, because then we can go back to the good old days to where, you know, you're getting the Intercontinental title put on you, and this is kind of like back in the day when they did that, you know, experimental push where they're saying, you know, we want to put this belt on you to see if, you know, you're worthy to be the Universal Champion. And now you're bringing back that prestige, because if you remember, so many times back in the day, when you're the Intercontinental Champion, that is just, you know, one step closer to you being the main world champion. And right now, Miz is the best case example of that, because he's been Intercontinental Champion 8 times now, and there's probably a good chance that he's going to be Universal Champion by the time the year's over, because I've been hearing a lot of rumors that he's definitely going to be getting a major push going into WrestleMania, but also beyond that. So could we see Miz as Universal Champion by the end of the year? I like to think that that's probably a major possibility. So as far as, you know, the argument's sake goes, I would be totally fine with Braun Strowman as Intercontinental Champion. In all honesty, if he goes back to his deal where he just takes on like 3 or 4 guys on and puts the title belt on the line, that would just be amazing. And just to see like one guy try to pin Braun, and Braun's just like, you try to take my strap away? Nope. Plamp. Done. Guy's like just massacred onto the pavement, massacred onto the ring. And there's like people that are just leaving with like fingers and toes, being like, I got a souvenir from Monday Night Raw. Yeah, it's a piece of a dead guy, but it's still something.
I mean, I'm not opposed to the idea of him holding the Intercontinental belt or U.S. belt or anything like that entirely. I just think for right now, if they're going to put a belt on him, anything other than the Universal or WWE title is just going to feel like they're shortchanging him for the time being. It would feel odd. I mean, this is the guy who used a fucking grappling hook to pull down part of the set to attempt to murder Brock Lesnar and Kane, who in kayfabe are an unstoppable walrus man and a fucking demon. So it's got to become a big deal.
Well, he could probably still try to do that with The Miz. I mean, in all honesty, he did basically kill Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas. So at this point, anything Braun does is just golden.
But let's talk about that another time, though. Let's get back to the Rumble, because I really think that some of these picks that are coming up are going to be absolutely ridiculous.
I agree. So let's get into the WWE Championship matchup before we get to the Rumble. AJ Styles defending his title in a handicap match against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. The Kevin Owens Sami Zayn show, a.k.a. Kemi, a.k.a. the Sami Zayn Kevin Owens show, a.k.a. El Generico and Kevin Steen. Whatever you want to call them. Just one of the best tag teams in wrestling today, in all honesty.
Yeah.
So let's start with Max. Who have you got and why?
Well, personally, I do think AJ Styles will find a way to retain. That is me personally. But what I would love to see, because I'm a horrible human being, is since I've surprisingly really enjoyed the Sami Zayn heel turn, I kind of just want them to basically, how do I put this, fucking murder AJ Styles in like a 2-on-1 assault. In my head, if I were booking this, his fucking family would be at ringside and they'd just be like chair-shotting him in front of his children, get some like Rock versus Mick Foley shit going on. Obviously with less blood because it's 2017. Like, they just kill him. And then, you remember Lay Cool? Like, Lay Cool, they split the women's title in half, and it was kind of the funniest / stupidest / best thing ever. Do the guy version of that with the Universal title and Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. I swear to God, I would love that so much. I swear to God, I would buy a pay-per-view again just to show my support for it. It would be amazing. And then after you do that for like a year, Kevin Owens just festival of friendships Sami Zayn into the nearest fucking hospital and declares and like sews the title belt back together with like these big fake stitches, and it would just be the greatest thing to ever happen to wrestling. But because we live in the darkest timeline, that's not going to happen, and I AJ Styles is probably going to win.
Spencer Hart agrees with you there, and also you are indeed a horrible person.
How many would want to see that shit?
Jeez. I'm just going to, in the words of Stone Cold Steve Austin to Paul Heyman, you're a piece of work.
Oh, come on, that is a beautiful idea. I fucking brought up way cool for this shit. I dug deep on this one, motherfucker.
Oh, man. All right, Chris, who have you got and why?
Alrighty. Well, I feel like this is kind of one of the most predictable, it just feels that way. I'm sure there's going to be a couple swerves here and there, but I do feel like the matches themselves feel like a lot more cut and dry than you would really expect for a Royal Rumble. Obviously not counting the Rumble matches that are going to be a part of the pay-per-view this weekend, but for this one, and I'm going to be in agreement with everybody as well, both AJ and I are going with Styles to retain. I think that really comes down to it's definitely going to tease what I'm feeling about the Rumble. So I honestly think that it's going to be Styles still getting a win. It's interesting as it could be to be able to book co-champions. Would you have to face both of them? Would one of them be able to defend it, besides, without the other one? I think that would be really interesting. But when it comes down to it, I just think that they're just going to keep it on Styles and let him ride that out until WrestleMania as well. In the same case as Raw's champion, I think both champions are going to retain and hold them until WrestleMania.
Yeah, full agreement. And just right now, that's just one of those things where I look at it and I think to myself, well, AJ is indeed one of the best things that happened to the WWE titles, so keep it on for the time being. But, all right, so let's get on to the crazy...
They hold the title and it would be the best thing.
You are hung up on this, aren't you?
I'm not going to let this die. This is going to be my headcanon for the rest of my life.
I expect you to bring this up during Sunday's show, dude, that you just keep saying, I want to see this friendship thing turn to a friendship bracelet. Please, just make the major title the bracelet.
If they decide to never do that, I'm going to be bringing this up when we're 90.
Oh, my gosh.
Get the belt in half.
All right. Let's get right into the, of course, thing that everybody is going to be very interested in hearing, and that is indeed, first of all, we're starting off with the Women's Royal Rumble matchup. So we actually have a very interesting prediction deal going on here. We have a point system going on for surprise entrance, as well as a point system going into it picking out winners. So, Max, we're going to start with you. First off, your 3 surprise entrants to be involved in the Women's Royal Rumble match. Who have you got and why?
The surprise entrance, huh?
Yep.
Multiple surprise entrants, or just a surprise entrant, or what?
You got up to 3, bud.
Okay, well, I've said it before on previous shows that, that they're kind of doing the same thing with the Men's Royal Rumble, where the Women's Royal Rumble, it's like, Raw, SmackDown, everybody in the pool, the water's fine, all that shit. But even doing that, they need to pull up people because the 2 women's rosters are so thin right now that even piling them together, it's not enough for a Rumble. Surprises. Man, this is tough. Well, there's, of course, the surprise entrant that's not a surprise entrant if she shows up, and that's Ronda Rousey. Everyone and their fucking mother. It's going to be one of those things where if she doesn't show up, everyone's going to be like, see, I knew she wouldn't I called it, she wouldn't show up here, and if she does, everyone's like, oh my god, I knew it was going to happen. It's no matter what, everyone's going to be like that. So, Ronda Rousey for one. God, who's left in the women's roster from NXT that they could call up that would actually be worth a big pop? I forget, the Iconic Duo is still in NXT, right?
Yes, they are.
I could see one or both of them debuting. If it's just one of them, the other one will accompany the other to the ring. For surprise entrance, I'll go big and go for the one that, of course, a fourth of the internet would call for and everyone would want to see. I could see Lita like showing up. Like she won't take any bumps or anything like that, but I could see her showing up for like a nostalgia pop, maybe eliminating like one person and then getting dumped herself.
All right. And your final one, you said?
Who do I think is going to win?
No. The final other one, because I think you were kind of vague with your with one of yours. So that was where I got Ronda and Lita for yours for two of them. Did you have a third one?
And of course, like Peyton Royce or one of the two iconic duo from NXT.
You can only pick one, Max. Don't try to do that.
Don't be like Peyton Royce.
All right. And
Fucking asshole.
yeah, just shush you. All right. So we also, like I said, have a special system for the winners. Max, you have a choice of 3 winners. The first one you choose will be your primary one. Second one you choose will be your secondary, and the third one will be your final choice. So, who are your top 3?
Before Max gets into his winners, though, we should probably just go through everybody's surprise picks.
Fair
and
enough.
then loop back around and then go to winners after that.
Fair enough.
That is pretty valid. We should do everyone's thing.
All right. So next up we'll have Mr. Spencer Hartz, who has chosen Beth Phoenix, Brie Bella, and Ember Moon. So pretty interesting a line of people here. Totally.
Oh God, if I see Beth Phoenix in this Rumble, I'm going to be real fucking happy.
I think a lot of people
I
are.
really think that's actually a really, really solid pick on his part. I didn't even think of that one because I do believe that some of the rumors I was hearing was, she may be going into the Hall of Fame this year.
Well, she already.
Oh God, that'd be fucking great.
I think Beth Phoenix was in the Hall of Fame last year.
Too.
Yeah, I think Beth Phoenix already got inducted into the Hall of Fame. I think it was last year.
Did she really?
Yeah.
Oh, was it last year?
Yeah, I think it was last year if I remember correctly.
Oh shit!
I think you're right, actually.
Because
wow. That blows my mind for some reason. I don't know why. I really thought that she wasn't in yet, but either way, I mean, definitely earned. But all right, so I'm gonna go with AJ's picks first for a surprise entrance.
Okay.
He's still echoing the Rousey, Ronda Rousey appearance. He's also gonna go with Trish Stratus because
Good pick.
I feel like seeing her on Raw 25 and she only came out and waved. It just felt like that was really, they could have done more. So why would they bring her out? And she obviously still looks like she could go. If it really came down to it, she would be somebody that would get a pop from the Philly crowd, which is really, really hard to do. So I think that would be a way to go. And obviously, if you have Trish, I feel like then going to AJ's last pick here, you have Lita. I mean, their careers have been so intertwined, especially basically trading the title back and forth for quite a while back in the day. I feel like those two really should have that moment. And again, curious by her absence on Raw 25. I was actually really shocked that there wasn't Lita, but I don't know what that is, but whatever. As far as my picks go, it's so hard because I don't want to pick Ronda Rousey as one of my surprise entrants, but I kind of have to if I'm going to, end up going the way I'm going with my winning picks, just because. But let me start off with my other ones, though, besides Rousey, because I think those ones are far more interesting to me. One of them, I'm going to have to go with Karma. Obviously, she was on Glow. I mean, you might as well, on Netflix, so you might as well actually use that. And not only that, but at the very least, I just would love to see one moment during the Rumble where Nia Jax is just clearing house and just destroying people, and then all of a sudden here comes Karma. And you get that face off in the ring of just two giant women, and you know what I mean? Like, it's what you see in the men's Royal Rumble every year where you have this, two biggest people face off for that moment, and just to watch that crowd pop, seeing those two staring at each other face to face in the ring, I think is just worth the moment alone. So, I'm going to go with Karma.
Oh my God, that moment would make me so happy. I've become such a huge Nia Jax fan, and I loved Karma, like back when she was awesome/amazing Kong. So I'd be freaking the fuck out if that happened. It's like, oh, Nia Jax has cleared the ring. You hear that laugh at the start of Karma's WWE entrance music, and it's like, somebody call the ambulance. I'm fucking dead.
And my final surprise entrant, and it's really funny actually because hearing Max talking about Lay Cool just fits perfect. Michelle McCool. I feel like
Damn.
I really think that would be another one of those names. You know, when you look at some of the women that they brought back from the past, you know, even just for appearances and stuff, I think she still would be able to get back in there at least for a couple matches here or there. I always enjoyed her.
And then Lay Cool reunion.
That would be hilarious, man. I would actually really like that because I loved Layla when she was around too. So, but if I had to pick one, I think kind of the situation that Max was in on his pick. If I had to pick one of them, though, that I feel like is more likely to show up in this year's Rumble, I'm going to go with Michelle McCool.
Hey, fair enough.
No.
All right, so for my surprise entrance, Max did steal one of mine. That was Peyton Royce, but I'll still pick her because, in all honesty, I think that she definitely is one of those women that they've definitely really been pushing behind a little bit more than Billie Kay, but they still kind of, you know, treat them the same. As far as the surprise participants, I think it basically was confirmed on Monday when they did that whole deal where they had a bunch of women coming out and stuff like that. One of them being Kelly Kelly, a.k.a. Max's favorite wrestler of all time.
Fuck you. What the fuck?
You're welcome, buddy.
Oh, God, I swear to God, if Kelly Kelly is in the first ever Women's Royal Rumble, I will eat a table.
You're probably going to have to eat a table.
I swear to fuck, no, don't do this to me, WWE. Don't.
And,
I watched fucking Beth Phoenix take L after L to her when you had this bizarre obsession with her. I swear to fuck, don't do this to me again.
and the other one that I have is Tori Wilson. I think that this past Monday she actually looked really good. She probably looked like she hadn't really aged that much. I mean, she definitely looked like she aged a couple of years, but in all honesty, I looked at her and I'm like, wow, she's actually taking really good care of herself. So I think she could go as well as Trish Stratus. So yeah, Tori Wilson as my third one. All right. So before we get into Max's ranking order, actually we'll give him a little bit more time going into his ranking order of who he thinks is going to win the Women's Royal Rumble. I want to kind of bring this up because I just actually looked at Spencer's rankings for the Women's Royal Rumble match, and I could see a lot of people, including myself and Max, just looking at this and saying, what in the actual fuck are you thinking? So he has, for his primary pick for winner, Bayley, his secondary pick, Becky, and his final pick, Naomi. Bayley as the winner. What's the actual... the hell?
So, Bayley should enter this Rumble at, like, number 1, get eliminated almost immediately, and then be given a participation award while she's walking through gorilla position.
And a hug.
And the hug, yes. And then someone bumps into her, knocks the participation trophy to the ground, and it snaps in half. And I laugh because I am the worst person.
I'm going to get that trending on Twitter tonight.
Interestingly enough, though, Bailey's actually, betting odds-wise, Bailey is 25-1.
Huh. Wow. Oh, gosh.
That's the best thing.
Oh, yeah. You can think whatever you want about somebody's pick, but then when something like that happens, and he steals all the points in his match, because points are going to be at a premium when it comes to this event because of the fact that everybody's picking so similar. Like, I mean, if you're going to go for it, I mean, go for it, you know?
All I'm going to say is
I know, but I want him to be wrong even more.
I literally
It
just...
is literally, like, just, no. Like, Becky and Naomi, I can't even see either of them, despite how much I like them, but Bayley, I'm just... Man, just... I mean, it is your life. You make those decisions, but I'm just saying never play in Vegas.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Max, who have you got?
If you feel that confidently about it, put some money on it because she's 25 to 1 to make a boatload.
Right. All right, Max.
I'm good. Because watch this. She will now only not win if I don't bet. Soon as I put money, she becomes the king of the Women's Royal Rumble, just eliminates like half the people and wins. Not even a final four, it's just a blur of her eliminating people, and I'm just like, well, now I have to be homeless.
All right, Max, your 3 winners going from most likely to least.
Okay, well, most likely I'm going to start with the most obvious one, Asuka. I will honestly be genuinely surprised if Asuka doesn't win, which isn't to make it sound like I'm complaining. I'm a big Asuka fan, and some things I think are predictable for a reason because they're just the best idea or just a good idea. But Asuka, I would definitely put forth as first. Second most likely. You know what? I'm actually going to go with someone else I like. I'm actually going to say second most likely is Nia Jax. And then third most likely, and this is completely contingent on her being in the Rumble, but third most likely I'd say is Ronda Rousey.
All right. Kris, you and AJ, quote unquote, are up next.
Alright. Okay, so just before I get started on those picks, 2 other names that I really, really wouldn't be surprised to see in the Women's Rumble. Molly Holly. I've heard that there's been some rumors that she's kind of been just training, getting back into ring shape and stuff, and I feel like we haven't really seen her around too much when it comes to anytime they have people back on the show or what we always call wrestling holidays, where you get all the people from, to feel nostalgic, I guess.
Right.
Yeah. I could honestly see her being one of those people that you actually see.
I could be on that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those, even Ivory, somebody like that, or a Jacqueline, I feel like, you would get a little bit of a nostalgia pop from, a wrestling city like Philly. Just throwing those out there. Those aren't my picks or anything like that as far as that goes. But, alright, so for
the first ever Women's Royal Rumble.
Can't be any worse than Roman Reigns winning in Philly.
That's true.
Roman Reigns winning the first ever Women's Royal Rumble.
I would really, really love to see Santina Marella come back as well, just for the one, or even a James Ellsworth just joke factor that you would get.
No. Romanda Reigns. And she wins the Women's Royal Rumble. I swear to God, I would hug Vince McMahon. That is the best pull I would ever see at that point. Like, damn, man, you have committed. You have sent your company into an irreversible tailspin just to piss us off. That is beautiful. That is commitment.
Well, he's got the XFL to be working on now, so I feel like he's probably just whatever about it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay, so as far as my winners go, in order, from third up to first, I have to pick somebody for third, so I figure I'd just throw it out there, kind of whatever about it. But I'm going to go with Becky Lynch for my third, for 1 point. After that, as much as, I really think that there's been a lot of rumors about, Ronda Rousey being there, not being there. Last I heard, she was supposed to be out of the country, filming a movie with Mark Wahlberg, but you know how that goes. So she's actually going to be my second one for 3 points, and that just leaves Asuka at the top. So I'm going to go in order: Asuka, Ronda Rousey, and Sasha Banks. As far as AJ goes, and this is kind of goofy because AJ only actually picked 2 people because he's still confident it's going to be one of these 2. But I'll throw one in for him just because.
Okay.
I'll give him Nia Jax for 1 point. And then he's going to go kind of opposite of me. Asuka for 3 points and Rousey winning it all for 5.
All right. Well, I think I'm in agreement with both of you guys. Asuka at number 1. Max, you and I have agreements on number 2 being Nia Jax. And number 3, I went with Naomi on this one because I think it actually would make sense to have Naomi versus Charlotte at WrestleMania. I think that's like the next best scenario is either having A, Ronda Rousey or Asuka win the Rumble, or B, have Naomi get that big feel-good moment. I mean, yes, she had that WrestleMania moment last year, but I think she still needs that one moment that will definitely, set her above the rest, and I think that this could be the best thing for her right now.
So one thing though too that I gotta kind of bring up though, and it just makes me kind of wonder. So, if you're picking Asuka, that means Asuka versus Alexa Bliss, correct?
Unless they decide to change it to somebody else, yes.
Okay. And then you have Charlotte on SmackDown. I really feel like as much, I guess, excitement and, all of that kind of stuff of buying into rumors would be to have Ronda Rousey actually appear at the Rumble in this match. I feel like it would be better served to have her just appear on SmackDown instead. If only because I feel like that brings a lot more buzz and a lot more media coverage to something that's already, that's not going to have it as much as, say, the Royal Rumble would. I think it would be far more impactful to see her show up on a SmackDown at some point than it would be to actually bring her out now. Because, going with Asuka, I feel like then you would, again, go on Raw and you go against Alexa Bliss, and it just gives SmackDown something that's actually going to bring more eyes to them as far as going forward into WrestleMania. And if you bring in Ronda Rousey now, I mean, at that point, you're going to have to bring her in, from now until Mania. Whereas, if she's got other scheduling conflicts and stuff like that, I really feel like, you'd be better served almost doing that, saving that for February and having a month build up, rather than kind of having it, basically stretched over the course of like 2 to 3 months.
Makes sense. That would be pretty awesome. Now that's kind of one of those things where I kind of really want to see it. Now, I don't know if they're going to continue, if they're going to actually make that rule that you can jump from brand to brand if you win the Royal Rumble like they did years ago, but if they do implicate that rule, I think that would be great. But I think the last I've heard, it's like the brand's top title or something like that is what they were stating. But if they do implicate that rule that you can jump from brand to brand to do that, I'm okay with that. I would honestly love to see like just that tease of Asuka showing up on Raw and just freaking Alexa Bliss out, and then going to SmackDown, and then Charlotte sees Asuka there. It's like, are we getting this?
I just feel like with all the build-up though that you would have when you would bring in somebody like Ronda Rousey, and obviously there's been I don't know if it's necessarily been like a Twitter war or anything like that, but it's been more so of her and Charlotte have been at least interacting in some way. So obviously that plants the seeds for that rivalry. And I don't necessarily think that I would really want to see, Asuka versus Charlotte, at least at this point. I feel like you'd be much better served with, having, Alexa Bliss retain basically until it gets to WrestleMania and go against Asuka, because then you would have that, scared heel kind of, do whatever it takes to just hold on to the title, get disqualified. And I feel like you would have a lot more having the face actually going, like having the faith in Asuka going for the title rather than, going against somebody else like Charlotte right now.
Fair enough. All right, so let's get on to the moment you've waited for, ladies and gentlemen. That is indeed the Men's Royal Rumble matchup. All right, so starting off with the surprise entrance, going with Spencer Hart's first because, in all honesty, again, this is another... It seems unlikely, but at the same time, never say never in WWE. He has, for his surprise entrance, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Daniel Bryan, and JBL. Only 1 out of 3 can I see actually happening, but that's just me.
Okay, surprise entrance.
And you can't say Ty Dillinger because he already did that last year.
Yeah. Is the Miz going to be in the Rumble?
Yeah, I think he's going to be in the Rumble.
Okay, damn it, because I was going to say, if he hadn't been announced, I was going to say that Daniel Bryan's music hits and then The Miz comes out, and that would have been fucking great. Let me think. Let's go with Goldberg.
Ooh.
Let me get a nice little nostalgia pop going there. I could see them pulling up Drew Mac, getting some Drew McIntyre in on this. And Drew McIntyre. You know what, I'm going to go bold. I'm going to say Neville.
Neville, wow. I would actually be surprised if
I've
they
been
could.
talking about it for a long time now. It's like, oh, he's totally going to come back at the Rumble. Like, it won't happen. On some level, I think, I don't believe it's going to happen, but it'd be great to see it, and God, fucking just do it.
Fair enough. All right. Chris, you and AJ, what you got?
Alright, I'm going to go with AJ's first. I'm going to go, he agrees on the Drew McIntyre. I don't dislike that pick. I actually kind of agree with that, though, too. It's not going to be one of mine, but I can easily see that happening. I feel like I would rather put him in a spot to, like I said, if you're going to have Bobby Roode doing that open challenge, I feel like that would be something more entertaining for me and, start him off with an angle right away. But, him in the Rumble, though, would be nice. It's been a while since we've seen him in that spot, so. Another one that AJ is going to go with is Diamond Dallas Page.
Woo!
The guy still looks good. Honestly, like, the guy is still, I feel like he looks like he looked when he was in his prime. It's crazy. Kind of along the lines of, like, Tori Wilson. It's insane. Just get better with age. I don't know what it is. And his third surprise is going to be X-Pac.
Really?
It's going to be really interesting to see if X-Pac shows up and actually is in this match. If he does get X-Pac heat in Philly. I don't know why, but I could see people really digging it, but I feel like I could see him just getting booed out of the building, and I don't know why. Okay, so as far as mine go, mine are kind of out there. So I do have one question. I came up with 4.
Okay.
So I have to ask if one of them is allowed. I just want to make sure I had an alternate for this. So, obviously, Kurt Angle is the GM of Raw. Would he count as a surprise entrant in the Rumble?
It would still count. I mean, in all honesty, stranger things have happened. So, I think it could be a possibility.
Okay, so I'm gonna go with him for one of my surprises. I honestly think it'd be really cool to see that because of the fact that obviously he's from Pittsburgh, correct?
Yes, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Right there in Pennsylvania, and I just feel like that would be such a great pop. You would have that entire crowd chanting that you suck when all that happens. And if you do have Jason Jordan in that match, what happens? Do they team up? And then maybe one of them eliminates the other one? I could easily see that being, after losing the tag team title, I could see Jordan kind of doing the frustration kind of thing, doesn't know how to deal with this. Angle tries to comfort him at one point backstage. They have a face-off. In the match, they look like they're going to tease that they're going to be a team, and somehow Jason Jordan eliminates Kurt Angle. For another one that I'm going to go with, actually, and he did pop up for a split second. I don't know if you noticed, during the card game on Raw 25 with the APA, that being Montel Von Davius Order MVP. I really think that just using him, in a segment like that, I was listening to another podcast earlier today, and they were discussing this idea as well, that when you have guys that are gone for a lot longer, it makes you more appreciative when you do get to see them doing something when they come back. And sometimes you have those guys, and it feels like they're around so much that it felt like they really never left. And so, going back to Raw 25, Christian doing the Peep Show, I feel like, as much as I love Christian, I just feel like it was kind of, there could have been other shows that could have been actually on there. And I really think that, the Players Lounge with MVP would have been a really, really fun way to go with that, especially because of the fact that Christian didn't really get to say much anyway, and it just broke down. But anyway, so I'm going to go with MVP as my second. My third one, and this one is just way out there, I figured, why not? Let's take a chance on it. If I get a point for this, it'll be definitely worth it. I'm going to go with EC3. Now, oh my God, yeah. There are some rumors, obviously after having, WWE, NXT, whatever, drop the ball with a guy like Derek Bateman, I really think that this would be an interesting way to bring him back, and nobody would see this coming. Apparently, he was, there's been a kind of a rumor going around that maybe this was in the works or whatever for a little bit, but all of a sudden kind of curious that he was booked on a show this weekend and now has backed out of that show. Why not? I'll take the chance. I'll take the dark horse on that one. And I feel like, when you have the fans that would know who he is, they would really appreciate that moment, and it would be a really big way to debut him. So I'm going to go with Ethan Carter III.
You stole one of my picks, Chris. God damn it. I was actually two of them you stole. I went also with EC3 and MVP. I agree with both accounts. MVP looked great. He looks like he could definitely be going, and that'd be a great pop for Royal Rumble. EC3 coming in even at like number 30 would be honestly just better than the reaction that they gave Roman Reigns last year or Rey Mysterio a few years before.
Why not have EC3 come out at number 3?
Hey, geez, that would even be now I'm going to be looking forward to the number 3 entrant. Just like Ty Dillinger came out at number 10. Honestly, if they came up with like one of these things like every year, where it's like one person has like the number for in their name, and they just come out to that number, that would just be absolutely insane. That would be amazing if they just started doing that. The final pick that I have is, as Chris would say, a little far out there, but in all honesty, it could happen. I went with Aleister Black. I know that he's going to be involved in an Extreme Rules match with Adam Cole this Saturday night, but I think that he's just one of the most over guys there, and in all honesty, deserves to get the call up very soon. So this would be a really good experiment to just have him up there, let him just kick just about everybody's head off. He'd be basically like the Asuka of the Royal Rumble, just destroying everybody. Is he going to win? No, I don't see that. But just again, that nostalgia there, having Aleister Black, aka Tommy End, in that matchup would really just make for a more interesting Royal Rumble. But we'll find out on Sunday. So let's go into our 3 winners for the Royal Rumble matchup. Spencer Hart has chosen Roman Reigns, a wild card pick in Dolph Ziggler, and are you good?
Yep, I'm fine. I am composed of mind.
And the final one being Sami Zayn, which I could definitely see happening, but I don't know. I see Sami Zayn winning more than Dolph Ziggler. I'm sorry. I know people are doing the heavy. I'm just going to clear this out right now. I know that there's those heavy rumors that everybody's been saying that, he's going to be coming back, he's going to win the Royal Rumble, and blah, blah, blah. It's like, what's kind of the point? I get it. It's one of those things where it seems like it would make sense for him to come back, but to win the Rumble, that just seems a little far. That just seems a little too far-fetched. That just seems too far-fetched.
One thing I would really like to see, speaking of Dolph Ziggler, is if he were to come out to the CM Punk entrance, he came out to Cult of Personality just as can you imagine the heat that he would get? In the same way that if Miz came out to Daniel Bryan's music for it, it would be awesome. I would mark out so hard just to watch everybody's faces in the crowd get so excited, and then just the hatred I would come out of people.
If they're going to do that, they need to go 110% with it and just go all out and just have him do that for some event, like maybe Raw, maybe a pay-per-view, but do it in Chicago.
I feel like Philly would be cool for that, but I think it would be even if he came out though, like with the hoodie on, with his back, and taped up even, and just turns around and just with this huge grin on his face. Even if he went so far as to actually mimic the moveset of CM Punk, would be hilarious. And speaking of him as well, one of the things that I noticed on Raw 25 that really caught my eye was the split second that they actually had CM Punk on the screen during like a montage saying pipe bomb. I feel like this is one of the first times in a while that I've actually seen him acknowledge that he was even part of WWE.
I noticed that too.
Well, I think it's one of those things that they can't exactly ignore because when he did that, it got them a lot of mainstream attention as well. I mean, it got people who hadn't watched wrestling for a long time talking, or at least WWE for a long time started talking. So, I mean, it's one of those things they can't ignore fully, especially in an anniversary episode. So, I wasn't too shocked. I have to admit, I just kind of giggled at how short it was. It's like, all right, we have no choice but to acknowledge him, but we are literally going to give him half of a fucking second.
Yeah, I feel like what WWE does is they kind of sprinkle him in every once in a while, just a little bit of notice to him, not really directly, talking about him or anything like that, but they just do that, just to keep those seeds out there of people thinking that he might come back.
Well,
it's going to be 2075. CM Punk confirmed the return.
jeez.
From what I've heard, he's actually preparing for his next UFC fight.
I've heard that too, but
have fun with that, Emily.
Have fun with that, Phil. All right, Max, your 3 winners are?
Oh boy, 3 winners, huh?
Yep.
Oh, goddamn it. Well, one of them I will say I will pick Sami Zayn. One of them is not Dolph Ziggler. Figured I'd just get that up. But now, Sami Zayn, I do think this would be a good year for it, especially if they were to especially if they were to springboard off of, the two of them not being able to defeat AJ Styles. Maybe Kevin Owens helps them out to win and all that, and then they eventually use Sami being the one who, won the title through winning the Rumble and cashing that in at WrestleMania. Maybe that's what, causes Kevin to turn heel on him, yada, yada, yada. That could be really great, but I think Sami's in contention for it. He's not my number 1 pick, though.
Okay.
Oh, man, this is a weird Rumble, in my opinion, because I feel like... Alright, I'll go with my safe pick, Roman Reigns. I've been hearing rumblings of, they're going to do Roman versus Brock Lesnar round 2, to which my response is, please, fuck God, no. I mean, yes, their first encounter was better than any bastard thought it was going to be. Doesn't mean I want to see it again. I mean, it was a great match, but still. But no, yeah, gotta throw Roman in there. You know what? I'm going to pick everybody's favorite, John Cena.
Really?
I think if they do it, it's going to be him I can see him trying to be like, I'm going to beat Flair's record. And this is how he wants to do it. He wins the Royal Rumble. He goes all the way to WrestleMania. He pins 1, 2, 3, picks up the victory, holds the title above his head. I mean, hell, it would even be perfect if he decided to go up against, since he's been doing the free agent thing, winning the Rumble allows you to pick which belt you go after. He goes after the Universal title. Boom, he gets to try to avenge his, just absolutely one-sided mauling at the hands of Brock Lesnar while simultaneously winning the Rumble and all this other shit. I can see them easily going for it. He's not my number 1 pick. My number 1 pick is Roman Reigns, then Sami Zayn, then John Cena. But honestly, whether you like John Cena or not, or like the idea of him winning the Rumble or not, it is a viable story. Hell, they could even have him win the Rumble and then come up short at Mania and then go and tell a different story. Like, maybe he's past his prime. I think there's a lot of viable storytelling there with him, and he's already a proven moneymaker, and he's starting to get to the other half of his career, so they might be looking to jump on it. I still say Roman's the number 1 pick, followed by Sami, but I can see the picking Cena.
All right, fair enough. All right, Mr. Kris and substitute AJ, who have you got and why?
All right. So just kind of to follow up on what Max was saying, actually, John Cena right now is 8-1 as far as best betting odds. online if you want to bet on this kind of thing.
Right.
I really feel anything though. Yeah, he's actually in third. But I feel like what they're going to end up doing with him is something that we've been kind of, hearing rumors about for quite a while. That being, Undertaker actually coming back on retirement for one more match against John Cena at WrestleMania. I think that's kind of the way that they're going to go with that. And that's why, just personally, I probably wouldn't go with Cena on this one, at least this time. That would also tie Cena with Stone Cold at 3 Royal Rumble wins. So I think they're just going to kind of go away from that one at this point. But as far as as far as my winners go, I'm going to go with my third pick, just because, again, I have to pick 3. I'm going to go with Braun Strowman. I honestly think that, I'm just throwing that name out there. I really don't think that he's going to be in any condition, obviously, after that title match. But if they really want to play him up as a monster among men, watch him come out and still clear out that ring after being injured. Just coming out not 100% and still doing a lot of damage. I can actually see, him kind of coming out, clearing house a little bit, but then, you kind of have that moment where you have everybody gang up on the biggest guy out there, and he gets thrown out somehow. But, either way, I gotta put somebody in the top.
Fair enough.
So I'll go with him. He's actually 10 to 1 right now. He's actually in 4th place in the betting.
Ooh.
The other 2 that are actually going to be my top 2 are the top 2 when it comes to betting odds, in reverse order, though. Roman Reigns is going to be my second. Just because, as much as I wouldn't want to see him necessarily win the Rumble, again, in Philly, I feel like the fans there would torch the arena. I don't want to have riots, Can you imagine if you had it where Roman wins the Royal Rumble in Philly again, still can't get over, and then the following week the Patriots win the Super Bowl? Can you imagine how much crime would happen in Philadelphia? Nobody wants that. So, I'm going to go with him. And for my winner, I actually am going to go with Shinsuke Nakamura.
Mm-hmm.
I really think that setting him up to be able to be the person that goes against AJ Styles after AJ retains earlier in the pay-per-view, I just think that makes sense. Everybody wanted it last year at WrestleMania, but I guess it was too soon because Nakamura didn't even debut until the following Tuesday at WrestleMania. So I really want to see if they can kind of recapture the magic that they had, the amazing match they had at Wrestle Kingdom 10. I really think that WWE tends to kind of they see something or they do something at like a WrestleMania or somewhere another bigger show like Wrestle Kingdom, and I feel like they want to kind of mimic that about 2 years later. You see it quite a bit when it comes to WrestleMania matches, and then the year after for SummerSlam, it's kind of similar. You do tend to see a lot of the same matchups and stuff just because they kind of work their way back around to that story. So, as far as this one goes, I'm going to have to go Nakamura 1, Reigns 2, Strowman 3. Now for AJ, he basically mimics mine in this one. We didn't even talk about this. It's one of those things I feel like is kind of, this is how it's going to go. He also has Nakamura as his 1, Roman Reigns as his 2, but for his 3, it's a little bit different. He's actually going to be going with Finn Balor. And I personally, I don't mind this pick, just kind of, because again, I think it's kind of one of those, you just have to throw somebody out there anyway. But I like the idea of, having the club to be able to get his back. You kind of see what happened with the Shield for a little while, and, past Rumbles where, you kind of have that team, even going back to Legacy, with Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes, and Curtis Axel. Ted DiBiase Jr. My bad. Whoa, that was awful. But you see those guys kind of team up for quite a while, and I feel like you could actually do that with Gallows, Anderson, basically being there to try to get it to where Balor can actually win it. Now, personally, I don't think I could really see it going that way. I really think that Nakamura has this, and then you find a way to set up Raw's Universal title kind of elsewhere.
Yeah, I agree with that, and AJ is same as my picks. I also went with Nakamura as 1, Reigns as 2, Balor as 3, just because, I think if they pulled the swerve of having Balor win the Rumble, that would be awesome, because then we could get Balor versus Lesnar at Mania, which would be amazing, and it would definitely capitalize off the promo that Paul Heyman and Finn Balor had back in summertime. I forgot when it was exactly. Yeah, they've made it simple that, 2 main events for Mania are on the wall. So just so it's just kind of like, it's either going to be one or the other. It's going to be a Raw main event for WrestleMania, or it's going to be a SmackDown main event for WrestleMania. And we'll find out that on Sunday. So, with that being said, that is our predictions for the Royal Rumble. I have them all written down, so I will have these posted up, guys, as soon as the show is over. Get this over on the Facebook fan page, facebook.com/changing up the game, as well as on the Elite Ringside Networks page, facebook.com/ER Network 24/7. So, Kris, thank you for joining.
Just one thing before we go, before we kind of get out of here.
What's up?
I just have to say this because it's hilarious and it kind of freaks me out a little bit. I didn't know what the hell happened. But when we were talking about the Women's Royal Rumble, and this is like the dumbest thing, I don't know why I didn't think this was going to happen. My roommate has an Amazon Echo, okay? And when we were talking about Alexa Bliss, it started playing music, and I had no idea where it was coming from because I keep forgetting that thing is in the house. So I'm actually in my room. I had to shut the door because the music came on so loud. That's amazing. I have no idea what it is, but it just started playing, and it's been playing since. I'm gonna actually walk out here quick, and I'm not making this up. I have no idea. That's great. That's fucking great.
I want to kind of imagine just the way it just, like, basically just saying, Alexa, Bliss, and then it just starts playing whatever the fuck it's playing.
Now I'm curious. I feel like I have to go out there as soon as we get done with this and, like, use Shazam and find out what song was playing and how it got to that song.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Well, Kris, before we do indeed head out, thank you so much for joining us here. It's been a while since we've done this, but for a second year in a row, we're getting everybody all together for a great prediction deal, as well as for the Elite Ringside Network Championship. It's starting off with the club this year. The question is it going to be staying with the club by the time Sunday night's over? We'll find out on Sunday, you guys.
I got one more prediction, though, before we get out of here, too. I think history is going to repeat itself, and I'm actually going to win the title again at the Royal Rumble 2 years back-to-back.
Well, again, we'll see what happens. Because basically all it is right now is that we're basically tied up on most of the predictions. I think the only one that would probably really shake everything up would be either the Rumble matches or the SmackDown Live Tag Team title matches. Those are the only two that are probably going to really, only three I should say, that are going to shake things up. But again, guys, it's going to be an awesome prediction show. It's going to be an awesome deal. I will keep post on the point system on Sunday, so be sure to tune in for that. Be sure to check out Mr. Kris Lockman on his Twitter at KLock7, as well as Mr. AJ at AGens81, Mr. Max Beatty at Agent Cooper 1989, Mr. Spencer Hart at Spencer Hart ERN, and myself at Real Effin' Game. Thank you guys so much for joining us here. Happy Royal Rumble weekend. It is indeed a day of fun time. And let's not forget, guys, every day is Rusev Day. So thank you guys so much for joining us here for the Game Changer. For Kris Lockman and Mr. Max Beatty, I've been Nate the Effin' Great. Have a good one, and we will talk to you guys later on. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Southern boys with the farmer strength. Ain't nobody man enough to feel the pain. And you could be next. You better give respect. Cause ain't nobody breaking this redneck. No, they don't want none. No, they don't want none. They don't want none. No, they don't want none. They don't want none. No, they don't want none. They looking scared. No, they don't really want none. And I'm a Mack truck. Don't get wrong. We some country boys working overtime for it. Kings of the South, we never had nothing. Blue collar boys.